What's up, everybody? Back here with another video for you. We have the first part of my traditional epic Doom section here, and it's going to be B through M, and this is only going to be a two-parter. I don't have as much of this as I do some of the other genres, though I tend to love everything that I have in here to a very high degree compared to a lot of the other genres that I have in here. There's only a handful of bands I'm going to be talking about here, and we're going to cut on into it. We are listening to some killer banging death metal, Raping Their Own Blood by Vomitory in the background. This is some really quality Swedish death metal. Kronos is being a good boy. He says hello. He hasn't been on in a while. Say hi to everybody. Go up on your feet, buddy. All right, so let's get down to it. We got to talk about Sabbath first off. I have no bands that start with A because I can't really think of a Doom band that I really like that is just a Doom band that starts with an A. And you got it. We're going to be talking about them for a bit here. So this is a self-titled Sabbath record. I mean, this is entry-level metal stuff. You have to know every word to every song on every one of the first 5 Sabbath albums, I think. Maybe first 6, if you really want to say that. But this is an amazing, amazing album. I think my favorite song on here might be either track 5, which is A Bit of Fingers, Sleeping Village is a Warning, or Wicked World. I don't really know. I really, really love the whole thing. I mean, good golly. Paranoid. This is basically an unofficial greatest hits because all these songs on here are super, super well known. You've heard every one of them a million times. Bands cover them all the time. I've even heard bluegrass bands play War Pigs before. So, you know, it's a quality record. Master of Reality, one of the best that they ever did. I think these next 3 are their best things that they ever did. This is just a stupid, stupid heavy album, man. It's just all around one of the greatest that there's ever been, unquestionably. I'm pretty much just going to give you my favorite tracks off of each one. This on here's probably Electric Funeral. And on here, man, this is a hard one. Probably Into the Void might be my favorite track on this one. This is arguably my favorite Sabbath record. I don't know. It kind of switches between this one and the next one. Then probably the next one. But Volume 4, absolute classic. Perfect 10 out of 10 record in every sense of the word. I don't really know exactly what to make of my favorite song on here because I really love Snowblind, I really love Cornucopia, and I really like Under the Sun. I mean, I love everything on this record, so I'm not really sure. It's put up between one of those, maybe leaning a little bit more towards probably Snowblind or Cornucopia. Next, probably my favorite Sabbath record. I honestly think I could say that. And what was listed as my favorite metal record of all time a couple of years ago, it's still pretty high up there. It's just not as, I don't listen to it as much as I used to because I've heard it so many times. You know, this is the kind of thing that if you looked at like my brain in a microscope, I think you'd see the grooves from the record of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath on my brain. It's just, seriously, it's so good. This is a hard one for me to pick a favorite off of. I mean, Sabracadabra could be it. Spiral Architect could be it. Killing Yourself to Live, I'm gonna go with. Killing Yourself to Live is my favorite track on here. I don't exactly know. Actually, no, it's definitely probably Sabracadabra. Just top shelf, really proggy, really interesting record. Sabotage. Everybody knows this one. I've noticed a resurgence of love for this album over the past, I don't know, couple of years here in the VC for this record, which I don't really understand why this in particular record has gotten to be the go-to for a lot of people, but I fully support it because it's a killer banging record. It's probably, I don't know, it might break the top 5 on my Sabbath records of all time. But, you know, obviously Symptom of the Universe is the best song on here. That's basically thrash metal before thrash metal was really a thing. When I was in a band in high school, we used to cover that song, and I would kind of do it more like Max Cavalera and Sepultura would do it. So that's always pretty sick. This is kind of where they fall off a little bit. Technical Ecstasy. This is a wild one. Different kind of record. Still don't really get the album cover. I do really like this band imagery here. I think that's pretty interesting, kind of making them all look like, I don't know, maybe cyborgs or something. But You Won't Change Me might be my favorite one on here. The Dirty Woman's a really good song, even though I know it's a cover. Yeah, I'd probably say You Won't Change Me is going to be my favorite track on this record. But again, not one I visit very often, comparatively speaking. Because why would you listen to this one when you have all the other albums? Same thing goes for this one, which is Never Say Die. This is, it's got some pretty cool songs on it, but just as a whole, it doesn't hit you very hard. The first two tracks, it kind of loses its momentum after Junior's Eyes, I think. After that, I'm not a huge fan, and this is one of those records that I don't know every song off of. Like, I couldn't read off the whole track list and sing you every song, so maybe I should familiarize myself more with it. But I do remember Johnny Blade being really good, and Air Dance, Junior's Eyes, the opening track, Never Say Die, is probably my favorite. The Sunday Satisfaction, take me for a ride. It's really great. I really do like it, but it's nothing compared to the earlier stuff. You guys know that. Now we're going to get into the Dio years, which is Heaven and Hell. This is a stellar record. This is the best thing they did, I think, since... I don't know if I like this or Sabotage more, but it's somewhere between those two. Probably, it's definitely the best thing since Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, maybe since Sabotage. But this is seriously a perfect album. I don't know which one's my favorite. It's either Children of the Sea or Neon Nights. Either way, really stellar record. Dio is an amazing addition to every band humanly possible he's ever been in. Then Mob Rules, which seems to be the preferred song for the Sabbath catalog when it comes to Dio for people. I can't say I agree, but it is a cool song. The Sign of the Southern Cross is really cool. I really like Country Girl. But, you know, nonetheless, it's a really great record overall. Great stuff. Next, I'm definitely missing a good handful, but I think this is chronologically in its proper spot. This is Born Again, the Ian Gillan album. Dude, this is banging. This is such a heavy Sabbath album, dude. It's like, this is a true blue traditional heavy metal album, as opposed to being like Sabbath is the building block of which metal is built upon. But this is like a band coming into the genre that they founded in the way that it evolved, if that makes any sense to you. This is seriously such a good record. Songs like Disturbing, The Priest on here are some of the most absolutely feral tracks that Black Sabbath ever did. That's definitely the best song on there. I'm skipping a couple because I actually might only own one Tony Martin album, and Dehumanized, which is one of the best, one of the best album covers in Sabbath's catalog. I really like this one. It took me forever to actually get a hold of this a copy of this, and now that I have it, I see it everywhere. It's kind of annoying. I don't know this record well enough to really give you a proper favorite track on here, because I'd have to put it on again, and that's going to go for probably the next one too. But really great album cover. And from what I remember, it's a pretty good record. I'll put it on again sometime soon. I picked this up just because I saw it in person, and this is one of those bands I want everything from. This is Cross Purposes. I don't have like Tear and all those albums, though I love that album. If you guys have a copy of Tear and you want to get rid of it, hit me up. Put it in the comments. I will contact you one way or another. I have listened to this maybe once ever. I've recently gotten it, and I listened to it that one time and then shelved it. It's just really not as exciting as some of the other Sabbath stuff. This is something I've had for a long time. This is Reunion, the live comeback 2-disc set with all the classic stuff on it. I mean, this is a great live show. I really don't care too much about live records for any metal band for the most part, but this band gets the pass, obviously, because it's possibly my favorite band of all time. Definitely up there. It's one of them. I actually have a t-shirt from this tour because I found it at Goodwill, which is amazing. And it's a little small on me now, but I've been wearing it for years. But it's really cool to have that, especially since this tour was the year I was born. So that's different. And then we got 13 with the fun cover. I really think that's really cool that they did it like that, where you can kind of make the flames move. Yeah, that's super sick. Great final full length for them to end on. I mean, a lot of these songs are just, seriously, they feel like the old days. And I know who produced this. Was it Rick Rubin? I'd imagine it's Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin, I'd imagine it was him, and I heard something about them saying, try to make a record that sounds like your first record. And, you know, for dudes that are like retirement age, amazing. If this is a regular band that wasn't just Sabbath, I would say this is a really good Doom record. It's catchy, it's well thought out, it's not formulaic, but it's also something you could call back to the earlier era of this band. It's a really, really well done last full length. And I picked this up as well when I saw them on their final tour. This is the End EP. It's got 4 tracks that are their final tracks. This is their last proper release. And then it has 4 live tracks from the previous tour cycles. Mostly, yeah, 2 of them are in the Oceania, on Oceania, and then the other 2 are from Canada. So this is a really cool thing to have. For a long time, this was my most expensive CD off Discogs. It has since price dropped, which good, because we should all own this, and they really weren't kidding when they said they were only selling it in the tour cycle. So I'm pretty glad to have picked it up when I did, even though I paid like $30 or $35 for an 8-track EP. But, you know, the collector scum in me says good job, and the wallet says because it's empty. So all right, talking about possibly my favorite band to another one of my favorite bands ever, Candlemass with Epicus Doomicus Metallicus. Debut from this absolutely brilliant Swedish metal band. This comes with a bonus live DVD of them in Birmingham in 1988, so that's with Messiah Miracle playing, doing the vocals. This is just serious. This is such a classic in metal. You gotta have this. You like literally, I don't think you can not own this if you're a metalhead. Amazing. Solitude's a great opener, but Demon's Gate is a great song as well. Under the Oak, A Sorcerer's Pledge. I need to put this on again because this is brilliant. A top 3 favorite metal record of all time, Nightfall. Just, oh man, dude, the Candlemass album, unquestionably the Candlemass album, the greatest straight up doom metal album of all time as far as I'm concerned, even though it is really, really epic. Every track on here is brilliant, and it is so hard to pick a favorite because I got into this with Bewitched like most people did. You know, I'm a black metal guy, so I heard that Dead was in the music video. I listened to it, got stuck in my head, kept playing it, checked out the whole album, got a copy, and I've been in love ever since. And this is one of the pinnacle points of my listening. Like, if you're like sum up your personality in 10 albums, this would be on there. And I would say the Samaritan is my favorite song on here, though Mourner's Lament and Gallows End, At the Gallows End, are also like hiding or like fighting to get to the top. Just so good. Next, another brilliant record, Ancient Dreams. Really, really great. I tend to just not listen to this as much as that one. This one is just missing something from it comparatively to that one. There's something not as magical, and obviously that might be my bias towards the nostalgia factor that I have of that, or just how partial I generally am to that record. But nonetheless, this is all around a great record. Stuff like A Cry from the Crypt, the opening track Mirror Mirror, the title track Ancient Dreams, and even the Sabbath medley on the end is really, really cool. But I'd probably say my favorite song on here is probably A Cry from the Crypt, or it might be Mirror Mirror, but probably A Cry from the Crypt. Great stuff. Comes with a bunch of demos tacked onto the other side. A bunch of live tracks and an interview. The other one had demos. This is a stellar record. It's a must-have as well. Same thing with this one, which is Tales of Creation. And this one has lost even a little bit more of the magic compared to the past 2, but nonetheless, it's a really great record. And like I said, one of my favorite bands. So when I say it loses its magic, I'm literally comparing it to literal perfection when it comes to an album. So that's kind of hard for me not to do, and I really do appreciate the non-Nightfall albums for what they are, regardless of how I'm sounding in this video as I talk about them. I love that album so much. And this is no slouch by any means whatsoever. The whole thing is great. Stuff like The Edge of Heaven and just great, brilliant epic doom metal. And I don't own a bunch of the records after that, and I only own this one, and then none of the stuff after this. This is the self-titled Candlemass. If you can't tell, I'm a big Messiah Margolin era fan, which is just literally the way for me to enjoy this band the most. I haven't listened to this one in forever, but I really like Black Dwarf. Spellbreaker's cool. The Day and the Night. Really great record, and I actually really like the aesthetic of this all white with like nothing going on. I don't know why, I just think it fits really well, and I think it's really cool. I have fond memories of listening to this my senior year of high school, driving around, going to school, you know, in the truck, playing this and stuff like that. Great record. It's, you know, it carries the spirit of Candlemass. Next, I got a couple from a band that's pretty polarizing, but I'm actually a pretty big fan of, especially this album, Force of Equilibrium by Cathedral. A lot of people hate this, and I don't really get it. I mean, Lee Dorian's weird, and he's kind of goofy, so I guess that's the only reason I could see for that to be the case. It also comes with the Soul Sacrifice EP and then a DVD of a documentary from the original band members and stuff like that. I don't really know. I haven't watched that. I don't watch a lot of the DVDs that come with my CDs. But this is a great, really slow, trudging doom record. This is kind of like what the template for what would become like Reverend Bizarre really is. And I think that's really cool. I dig on this record quite a bit. Really well put together stuff. Really fun, emotive doom, which is an oxymoron up the wazoo. This is where they started getting weird. I really get why people don't like this one comparatively, but that first record, if you're not a Cathedral fan, listen to that one, because the next stuff is a little weird. This is the Ethereal Mirror. It gets a little 90s here. I believe this is the second full length, if I have my chronology right, but I really do think it's a really brilliant album cover. Really cool. Great doom, but this one starts to get a lot more into the stoner side of things, and you can really tell. I mean, look how they're dressed and all that. They look like it's the 70s. That kind of took over the doom scene for a while. And then I have some stuff that you might not want to put in doom, but Danzig. I keep this in here because I think it fits best in here, because it is kind of doomy, though you could definitely put it in your traditional metal section. This is a classic, perfect, 100% brilliant album. Every song on here is amazing. Probably Soul on Fire is my favorite thing, but I love Danzig. I really love Danzig. And same thing with the second record here. 777 is probably my favorite song on here. Thank you to those who speak English. 777, great one. Under Her Black Wings, oh, and A Long Way Back from Hell is just really great. Brilliant stuff. Danzig III, title track might be the best one. Dirty Black Summer, it was a dirty black summer. This is great stuff. I keep doing a lot of impersonations in this video. I don't know what my problem is today. Might just be excited to be off work, who knows. But this is so good, dude. Get these Danzig records. If you've only ever heard the first one, you're missing out. And the last good Danzig record, which is Danzig IV. I used to have some later stuff too, but I got rid of them because they suck. Especially the industrial stuff, dude. Brutal. Absolutely horrendous. What a joke. Anyway, back to the good stuff. Yeah, this is a great record. I don't know this one nearly as well as I do some of the other ones, but nonetheless, it's a pretty good record. It's something I gotta put on again sometime, you know? It's one of those kind of records where I know I like it every time I hear it, but I seldom get the hankering to actually listen to it, if that makes any sense to you. Danzig IV. We got two epic doom albums here. Let Battle Commence by Doomsword, which is their third record, maybe their fourth record. I think it's their third record. This is a great Italian doom band. Digipack looks kind of garbage. Not a great look. That they should really have been bold in that. But this is kind of somewhere in between the, I don't know, somewhere between the traditional heavy metal and epic doom side. You could definitely hear them taking influence from stuff like Sirith Ungol and bands like that. But it's a great record. It's fun. It's, you know, it literally sounds like you want to let battle commence when you listen to it. Just all around killer band. If you guys haven't heard Doomsword, you're missing out. If you don't have that one, try to get this one too. My Name Will Live On. This is the record that came right after that, and I think this is the 4th record, and that was the 3rd record, or 4 or 5, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can find it in the Metal Archives. Anyway, My Name Will Live On. I haven't spent nearly as much time with this because I recently got this, I don't know, a couple of months ago, and I've really just been working on getting through like the new stuff, which I would like to slow down and buying, which I've actually somewhat done. Somewhat. And I just want to spend more time with this kind of stuff. So I think that's my 2024 New Year's resolution, is to spend more time with my collection and stop getting copious amounts of things in. We'll see how that goes. Doomsword. Got one from Magic Circles. Departed Souls. This is basically Pagan Altar in a modern era. And if you guys aren't familiar with this band disbanded because the vocalist left to join Pagan Altar, and that is killer. I absolutely love that band, and this is a great incarnation of that with a modern, you know, kind of new wave of traditional metal flair to it. But it definitely stands firmly in that early Doom, that, you know, that kind of Witchfinder General Pagan Altar style of traditional metal Doom mixed together. Great stuff all around. And our last one here is a must-have in your collection, even though it is pretty elusive. It's kind of a pain to get, and I wound up getting it in the wild. This is Memento Mori with Rhymes of Lunacy. If you guys don't have this, you are missing out. You recognize that man with a wonderful voice in the front there. This is Messiah Miraculin's band that he formed after Candlemass, and it is great. It is relatively similar to Candlemass, but it has some power metal tinges, some more traditional metal tendencies to it. All around, it's a brilliant record, man. It's really epic, and it's really dark, and it's just, it sounds purple, if you get what I mean. For those of you who are also synesthesiacs, this album sounds purple, and it's not just suggestive because it's the album cover in my brain. But I'm going to call it at that, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this, being one of my favorite styles of metal, though I don't have as much of it as I'd like to. And I'm going to be back with the next one here in a little while, so I'll catch y'all later. Keep it greasy. Kronos, say bye to the people. Later, y'all. Keep it greasy.